While I don't normally do air stuff to Europe, it seems appropriate at this time, given that London now has a severely restricted carry-on rule, which is about two-thirds the size of standard U.S. rules, which creates a lot of problems. Flying into Schiphol, that's Amsterdam, and Brussels, as well as Frankfurt, it's very convenient. You go right to the train when you're there. And while I'm on the subject of airlines, I've let go my KLM Northwest Alaska Continental preference. The miles are no longer advantageous. I no longer get frequent flyer miles. I've gone to United US, which turns out not to be so bad. And they're less insulting and snarky.
This train going to Switzerland, which appears, if you notice, on the domestic service, because it's no longer a Euro city here at Brussels Midi, the main station in the south, I'll be taking the faster, more expensive Thalys train, which leaves an hour later and gets me to Basalia faster. I'm here at the Brussels Nord station and at the Brussels Midi station, the main station. There's something new. We have now, instead of 2 timetables, weekend and weekday, they now have 4 timetables, international and interior. You'll see they're combined here at the Brussels Nord station. Here's a Thalys train at the Brussels Nord station. Notice it doesn't stop. I'll be taking instead the ICE train. Here comes the ICE International German service from Brussels Nord. The Thalys train, which doesn't stop at Brussels Nord, and that is a better station, costs way too much in terms of supplements. This train, no supplement with your pass. This is the engine that has set the world speed record.
This is Euronews, which carries excellent weather just before the half hour and hour, on the half hour international airport weather, and on the just before the top of the hour, great European weather. It's carried here in France on Channel 3 at 6 a.m., but unfortunately they clipped the ending for cartoons just before 7. Also check out Arte, which is in Germany, France, sometimes Belgium, and at about 8 p.m., a little bit thereafter, depending on programming, they carry excellent European weather and is available in France on the 5th channel, which should not be confused with the international French service, which is also for some reason called the 5th. Here at Gare de l'Est in Paris, the guichet, the ticket counters, do not have a special designated area for international bookings, unlike Gare du Nord and Gare de Lyon. And frankly, they don't seem to handle international reservations outside the couple of trains that they do know. Well, I'm here again at Paris Nord, going to Brussels, not taking the Thalys, which is at least a 22 euro supplement on your pass, instead taking the far cheaper TGV out of Aéroport Charles de Gaulle, using the RER. You get a Contra-Mark at the Transilien SNCF station. Don't go to the RATP, that's for the local metros. In going to Charles de Gaulle, the Eclé is the direct train. Here at Gare de Midi, the metro, which is on the left here, and the tram, which is now arriving, don't confuse the two, they're side by side, is what formerly was an option is now an obligatory way to get to the local stops in Brussels. Using the Lorchberg Tunnel here in Switzerland, Europe's newest and longest, I'm going to be gaining an hour connecting through Bern, through Basel, going to Milano, and I'm going to be getting there an hour earlier than shown in the Eurail guide, at least the version for 2008. Here in Switzerland, a typical mark for a cafeteria car, and contrary to what I thought I had read, even though it's 2009, they still do not accept Euro coins. While most trains in Italy do require reservations on an obligatory basis, notice the 11 o'clock train to Rome and Napoli no longer does, saving you not only 5 but 20 euros instead of the train Italia. And of course it does take a couple hours longer, but you get the full flavor of the country. Here in Milano Centrale, as a minor heads up, the ticket booths, which used to be on the right front in separate sections, international, information, reservations, etc., have been moved to the rear with new modern, all combined services, now accessible by a sliding ramp. I'm reminded in Italy on intercity trains and never intercity plus trains, when there's the optional reservation, which is not often, facultativa if you like, that you should be sitting in those seats numbered 70 and 80, or if you're in compartments, that would be the last two compartments on the right. While they're getting ready to separate the cars, as would be normal on any boat train, here the separation will be permanent, and the train splits in two, one going to Syracuse and the other to Palermo.
Look for CNN English language news, especially for those of you with jet lag in Italy, on La 7, Channel 7, not to be confused with the other local Channel 7s throughout Italy, at 4 or 5 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Here are the timings from Salerno, south of Napoli, to Rome. Notice the intercity and the Eurostars travel exactly the same speed, so there's no advantage to paying that 15 euros extra for the Eurostar Italia.
This is the other half of the train coming in from Palermo. We came in from Syracuse. It'll be joining up after we got on the boat, crossing the Strait of Messina, going to Rome.
This is a little rolling minibar you can get in Italy and Denmark and in Switzerland. Coffee berries. Here you got to order extra water because it's really very powdery.
Here in Napoli Centrale, normally I would say don't confuse it with Napoli Piazza Garibaldi, but notice the Metropolitan sign that'll take you to the subway version of the station, which is actually the same station meant for through and night trains.
Well, I've spent almost 100 euros, that's about $140 in train supplements in the last 2 weeks, but notice I've saved yet another 100 euros by traveling second class in those trains of equivalent service, which is particularly in Spain, and international service between France and Germany.
Well, I'm on a train that's broken down. The line's going north to Rome out of here of Napoli, and I'm here at the station. There's no Metropolitan service, which could have saved me as it did one time before. So this will be my second time for a breakdown in Italy. I had another one before in Belgium, another one in France, and another one in Germany.
Well, normally want to avoid the Eurostar Italia. The new high-speed route between Bologna and Milano now affords a connection avoiding Genova, which otherwise is no connection at all going to the west.
Here at Porbu, and the Seoul morning train from France to Barcelona is running late as usual. So the suggested connections, either from the internet or from the train station, I would not recommend the 12 o'clock connection to Madrid, but instead the 1300 one. It leaving at 1 o'clock is faster, and you'd have to go through the airport type check-in anyhow. This is the new high-speed line they'll be building and opening in 2010, connecting France to Barcelona.
So as we leave San Sebastian Donostia, not shown in the Eurail guide is the 1407 connecting service to Paris, because there is no regular train. You can get the Cercanía, but then you have to change at Irun to the Usco train, or there's actually another way to do that from south of the train station in San Sebastian, or make an intermediate stop, but that takes an experienced traveler. There's an Usco train which connects Donostia, San Sebastian to Hyundai, especially if you want to make that connecting service that doesn't show normally.